Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My goodness, it has been forever since I've been able to make a video. This is Kathy at Tatty Treasures, etc., and I am so glad you're here. I'm so glad I'm here. It's been months since I've been able to make a video because, as some of you may know, we suffered a major water leak from our water heater, which eventually caused us to have to replace all of our floors. And insurance didn't want to cover it. Finally they did, but that happened in March, and I had to dismantle my craft room about, I think 4 months ago in order to replace the floor in here. Now, it didn't damage all the floors, but our floors were continuous and discontinued, so we couldn't just repair what had been damaged. We had to replace everything. So we decided to go ahead and do my craft room and the bedroom and the den because they still had carpet in them. And as long as we're doing this, we wanted to do everything. And I think many of you would agree that carpet in a craft room is a supremely bad idea. So anyway, here I am. But one of the things that I'm doing as I unpack and reorganize my craft room, I am making changes to the way I store and organize certain things. One of those things is my lace and my ribbons, and I will show you why that needs to be done and what I'm going to do about it. So hold on just a second. Okay, I hope I'm not going to make you sick here, but I'm going to open up these drawers so that you can see how packed they are. Now this drawer is 6 inches deep. These drawers are 12 by 12 by 6 inches deep, and they are just, this one is just layers and layers, and it is just a mess. So that's that drawer. Then I have this drawer too, and 2 more drawers. This one, here we go, get back up here a little bit, and this one. This one isn't too terribly bad, but I'm still going to redo it. So one of the things I hate about rolls of ribbon and lace is the fact that it's just a bad way to package these. The rolls take up a lot of room and roll around all over the place, and it's just, I just want to organize these a little bit better. So I'm going to get started and show you what I intend to do to make these more organized. So hold on. Okay, so before I get started with the lace, I want to show you what my thinking process is for how I'm going to do what I'm going to do. So I found this magnetic photo album. I don't know why they call it magnetic, but anyway, I found it at the thrift store. And my intention with this was to use it to store like fussy cuts and my Tim Holtz people and things like that. So when I put them in here, I was thinking, oh, that's really a good idea. But unfortunately, they don't stay. It's just not sticky enough. Well, this one seems to be, but anyway, most of them weren't sticky enough, and so that they were, the more I flipped the pages, the more they moved around on the page. So maybe it was just the first one. No, these just really aren't sticky enough, so they weren't going to stay. So I decided to, see, this one's just moving around. They don't stick. So what I decided to do originally with this photo album was take it back to the thrift store and redonate it. But then I thought, well, why do that? Because I want to reorganize my lace and ribbon, and I can use these pieces to do that, these pages. So I'll show you what I came up with. So I'm going to take a page here and remove the cellophane, which I will use. I will repurpose this somehow. I don't know how yet, but I will. And then I'm going to take my cutter and I'm going to cut it into 4 by 6 pieces. So if you have some 4 by 6 index cards, you can use that as well. I'm just going to cut off the 3 holes there, and then I'm going to cut this into, let's see, I think I go 4, I had this all worked out last night, so I'm going to go 4 inches, And another one at 4 inches. Okay, I should have gone the 6-inch way first, but that's okay. For the purposes of what I'm doing here, this is fine. And I can still use the other pieces, the waist, the drops. Okay, so get this out of the way. And now I'm going to use my envelope punch board to shape these in a way that I can wrap the lace around and it won't come undone. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. So, and I'm standing up in case my voice sounds different. So I'm going to line up this edge with where this opening is, with that edge right there. And this is kind of thick, so I'll probably shake the camera, but I'm going to do it anyway. And then I just do this on all 4 corners. Let's go ahead and get started with this one. And then there's a couple of other things that I need to do with it. I'm going to take my straight edge and my knife, and I'm just going to cut off this tab here. So I'm just going to line up the bottom with one of the lines on my mat, and then line these depressions up with a line, and then I'm just going to cut that out between them. So I tried doing this, well, I'll show you. I'm not going to tell you yet. Okay, cut this one out. Okay, so now we have the base. Now I could just use it just like this, but I not only wanted it to be cuter, I also wanted it to be less flimsy, more sturdy. So what I have done is I went through my stash and I just started looking at stuff, and I thought, you know what? I have book pages, I have wallpaper. So I've cut all these to 4 by 6. You know, wallpaper scraps. So in doing this, I am going to be using up so many scraps because I have so many laces and ribbons to work with. So using up scraps in this way, I think, is a great idea. So these are all wallpaper. And I also have a couple of stacks of scrapbook paper that I'm probably not going to use in making junk journals. They were great when I was scrapbooking, but now that I'm doing junk journals, I'm probably not going to use them. So I'm taking some of my wallpaper, my scrapbook paper stacks, and cutting them up to use. And then also, I have master boards, and sometimes when we make a master board, we think, what am I going to do with the master board? Well, I've made tags, and I've made journal cards, and I've made even covers for journals. But what I did is I took some of my master boards that I had, and I cut these up into 4 by 6s too. So another way you could do it is just take some of your scraps from your stash and glue them straight onto here, which I will probably do that as well. So you make master boards out of the 4 by 6, and then you just cut it. But I would recommend, if you're going to use something as sturdy as this, like a piece of cardboard, that you cut it into this shape first if you're using an envelope punch board, because otherwise it will be too thick and your envelope punch board won't, or the punch won't go through. So if you're going to do it that way, use a knife or something like that to cut it rather than your envelope punch board. And you don't need an envelope punch board. You can just, you know, cut this with a knife. Just, you know, make it an angle and just cut it out. Okay, so let's go ahead and make one. And then I will go away and do the rest of them. So it'll be a few days, but for you it'll only be a few seconds. Okay, so I've got my what do you call this thing? Oh, masterboard. So I've got my masterboard, and I made sure that all the edges were glued down really well, and I also put a couple of coats of Mod Podge on here just to kind of seal it. Okay, so one thing I'm going to use is a little Xyron because I have a zillion of these to do. So I'll be right back while I get that. Okay, I have several sizes of Xyron machines, and I would only do this because I have so many to do and it just is going to save me time. So rather than apply the glue to this, since some of it is getting cut away, I'm going to apply the glue to this one side at a time. So let me just roll this through, and these Xyron machines are old so they don't roll real effectively, and not only that, a lot of the machines that I have are out of the refills. So I know I can get them on Amazon, so I'll be doing that. Okay, and then just to make sure that it sticks, take off the cellophane and then the backing sheet. And then the way I do this to make sure it gets on there straight, and watch, it probably won't just because I said that, I'm just lining them up this way from corner to corner on the bottom, and then bringing them together like that. Okay, and it still is a little bit crooked, but you know what? They're going to be tucked away in my drawer, and I don't care. And it looks like I just cut this one a little bit crooked myself, so I can just straighten that out. That's no big deal. Okay, so let me zoom in here a little bit. So now the next step is to trim it. Boy, I tell you, I am so excited to have my craft room back, and it's not 100% back yet because I still have a lot of boxes to unpack and a lot of organizing to do. But my husband, who's been awesome, has been helping me by putting up shelves, and I still need some shelves in my closet. Okay, so then I'm just going to trim away this section in here. Okay, now I'm going to put it through the Xyron again and attach this piece to the other side and then do the trimming, and I will be back. Okay, so I have my pieces on here, and they're trimmed, and they look pretty, they're trimmed and they look pretty good. And then the last thing I want to do is I'm just going to take my corner chomper, and this is totally optional, obviously, but I just like it. And I'm just going to use the quarter inch edge, or insert, whatever you want to call it, quarter inch punch, to put a little radius on it, and then I'll be ready to start wrapping. Okay, they're not all this hard to cut with the punch. It's just that this has so many layers on it. Okay, so this is nice and sturdy, and I'm gonna grab one of my ribbons and wrap it around. Okay, so I'm gonna start with this one. This one takes up a lot of room, so it doesn't matter which side is the front. I think this side is. So I'm just gonna go in between these ends. So you know what? Let's measure this. Let's see, how thick is this when it's inside in a roll this way. Okay, first of all, it's only 4 inches long, but it is 3 inches thick. That doesn't fit very well in my 12 by 12 drawers. Okay, so here we have this done. Now, to keep it in place, I don't like using straight pins because I always end up cutting myself. So I'm using these cute little safety pins to hold it in place. Okay, so that's much better. So rather than being 3 inches thick, it is just over 1 inch thick. Okay, I'm calling that a success. Okay, let's make one more. Okay, well, I just learned a lesson. So when I put scrapbook paper on both sides, it won't go through the envelope punch board. So I drew it, drew where I needed the cuts to be. So this is how you do it without having an envelope punch board. Okay, so these two are done, and I really like this. I like how uniform they are. The shapes, you know, these cards will fit in my drawers really well. And obviously you can make them whatever size you need to fit the space that you have. But this is so much better. I mean, look at that. It's an inch wide. So, and I can, you know, have them vertically like this or horizontally like that, and I can see what's on here, and it's just way more efficient. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and work on the rest of what I have and show you my progress when I'm all done. Now, please be sure to stay till the end, because to thank everybody for sticking with me during this long hiatus, and to show my appreciation for all of you, I'm going to have a giveaway at the end, or a couple of giveaways. So please stay till the end and help me get my channel back on track. Okay, everybody, I will see you very soon for you, maybe not so soon for me. Okay, ta-ta. Well, I'm back and I'm finally finished with this project. There are 76 cards in this one drawer alone, and you can see how much nicer that looks. Everything is in rainbow order, and I absolutely just love this. So I have 3 drawers now that I've organized and basically have touched all of my laces and ribbons except for a few, and I'll show you those in a moment. But this drawer is 12 by 12 by 4 inches deep. So, is that right? Yes. Okay, this drawer is 12 by 12 by 4 inches deep. So I have these 4 by 6 cards right. I mean, it's a little less than 4 inches here, but 4 inches here. So these 4 by 6 cards fit perfectly in here side by side. Now I'll show you another drawer. This is a deeper drawer. This is 6 inches tall. So I'm able to fit, and it's still 12 by 12, so I'm able to fit 3 rows standing up. And this has all of my different neutral laces in here. I don't know if you can see, but what's nice is that I can flip through these, pull them out, be able to put them back in very nice and neatly. And of course this project, you know, it's expandable. I can add more cards if I want to. So I'm standing up, so if my voice sounds a little bit different, it's because I'm standing up so I can see through the phone. Okay, so that's this nice deep drawer. And this is also a deep drawer. It's 6 inches deep as well, but I didn't have as much ribbon or lace to fill it with them all standing up. So you can see how much extra room I have. I can stand them all up this way if I get more, and then I'll have 3 rows of standing up ones. But it's so nice. I can see everything. I just love opening the drawers and looking inside. Now, I will tell you that because I ended up doing 176 of these, cutting them all out by hand just wasn't going to work. And I have a Cricut maker that I've had for a few years now, and I never got around to really learning how to use it, because the Cricut I had before, which was an expression, I used to be able to use Craft Room to design when I was doing scrapbooking. So I could design the whole layout in Craft Room. Well, when I went to hook it had been a while since I used it, and so when I went to hook up the Maker, there was no Craft Room left. They had just discontinued it very unceremoniously. So they had this new thing where it was really difficult for me to get to my old cartridges that I had linked, because of course they don't use cartridges anymore. But anyway, I finally decided it was time to sit down and figure out how to use Design Space, and then I was able to cut out all of these on my Cricut Maker. And what I used for backing, or for the core, was those photo album pages that I showed you in the beginning, but also the backs of my 12 by 12 scrapbook paper, which is nice and sturdy. So I used up a bunch of scrapbook paper that's great for scrapbooking, not so much for junk journaling. So I was able to use up a lot of that and use it in this project. Also some wallpaper, and I think I even did some book pages, but those are in the other drawer. But anyway, this just came out so well. Now, if I could share the template for doing these, I would do it, and I don't know if I can do that in Cricut or not. So I will tell you what I did. I started out designing it. If you have a Cricut and you have access to Design Space, what I used was a 4x6 rectangle, and then I added some so I started out with this size rectangle, and then I added some rectangles on the top and the bottom, and then added some ovals here, and then linked them all together so that they would have this shape. And then I just was able to get 4 out of each 12 by 12 scrapbook paper. So if you have a Cricut Maker or a Cricut, whatever the other ones are that you can use Design Space with, you might try making these in there. It went a lot faster for me. It was just going to be too difficult for me to do all of them. But, you know, here's one that I made by hand with some wallpaper, and I think it turned out fine too. So, you know, if you only have a few to do, then by all means do it by hand with an envelope punch board or whatever you have. Okay, now let's get to the thank you gifts. So to thank everybody for sticking with me in my long hiatus with our floor issue and how long it took to get everything to put back together and get my craft room out of storage, I put together a few little thank you gifts that I'm going to choose by random. So in order to enter this contest, I would like you to put a note in the, leave me a comment that says, thank you 2024. No spaces, just thank you 2024. And I'll put that up on the screen too when I'm editing this. And the reason for that is because I will be doing a random number or random comment generator, and I have to use that exact phrase, and I'll be picking 3 winners. So one winner will get 8 of these lace cards that I made with it's this pattern on this side, this pattern on the other side. It's cardstock with a cardboard core, very sturdy, and there's 8 of them in there. And I think these are really pretty. I actually chose my prettier scrapbook paper to do these just for the thank you. Okay, and then somebody else will win this. This is a mini embellishment pack, and it is a little fold out that I made using one of Tatty Treasures little projects, Memories of the Meadow. So it's a little fold out. See if I can get all the pieces in here. I don't know if you can see the whole thing, but and I'll go through them. But it's all blank on one side, but and blank on a few of the ones inside. But the ones that have pockets are filled with little bits of ephemera that you can use to decorate your own journals. There's some vintage and faux stamps in here. So for vintage international stamps. And then I've got some little, stickers and just a variety of little things that you can use to decorate your journals with. So here's some more stamps and little bits and pieces. Some of Tim Holtz's people. Okay, so that is this one. And then finally, I have a lot of wallpaper, and I'll be putting these in my Etsy shop pretty soon. I'm in the process of making some. This is a mini wallpaper pack, and I'll tell you the size. 8 by, well, the cover is 8 by 8. The pieces inside are a little bit smaller to fit. And this one is all blue tones. And so you can see all these different patterns and pretty wallpaper samples that you can use in your journal. And like I said, I'll be making up more of these and putting them in my Etsy shop pretty soon. So it's going to take me a while to get caught up with everything because I've also been reorganizing my whole craft room. I'm almost done. And when I am finally finished, I'll be doing a big reveal. So thank you so much for watching. Be sure to leave a comment. If you, I can only ship within the US, so I hope that's not a problem. I can't ship internationally because it's just too expensive for me. So if you're in the US and you want to enter this contest, again, leave a note in the comments and just thank you 2024, and then I'll do a random comment picker, and then I will be posting the results this coming Saturday, which I'm not sure of the date, but I'll put it in the description, in the video. Okay, and also in the description below. So it'll be this coming Saturday, so be sure to tune in for that. Thank you so much to everybody that stuck with me during this process. It's been really tough, but I do appreciate each and every one of you. So thanks again. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. And I will see you in my next video, everybody. Let the serendipity find you. Have a wonderful day. See you next time. Bye-bye.